it's Keisha, and today I am here to discuss the books that I read in April. I actually had a pretty good reading month. However, if you watched my March TBR, you know that I had planned to finish a lot of series. This month, I think I have like 16 books or something crazy that I wanted to finish, and I wanted to wrap up every series that I had opened that I could finish. Well, I'm here to tell you that did not happen. I got into one book, I finished one series, and that book took me about 2.5 weeks to read, and at that point I was done. There was a reason why I hadn't finished this series. I wasn't going to force myself all month to read these books that I did not want to read, so I didn't. So I did finish the one series, which was my TBR jar goal, so I did accomplish that. However, I did not accomplish any other books on my TBR, so this will be a nice little surprise for everyone. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started, shall we? So the first book that I read in April was Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. And this was probably my favorite book that I have read in April, my favorite book I've read all year, maybe even one of my favorite books in my lifetime. I just adored this book so much. If you do not know what Ready Player One is about, it is about a futuristic America. However, it is not too futuristic. It takes place in about 2050, 3 years from now. And basically the economy has crashed, we're in the middle of an oil crisis, and things are looking pretty bleak for the Americans. However, there is an escape that they are provided called the Oasis. This is a virtual reality world that's basically a video gaming system where people plug in and they create entire new lives on the Oasis. They create these avatars, they basically become new people, and they live in the Oasis. They go to school, they go to work, they get married, all without ever meeting anyone else. Well, one day the creator of the Oasis dies, and in his will he says that to an homage to 80s games, he is going to leave an Easter egg somewhere in the game, and whoever finds it is going to inherit his portion of the game and all of his money, which is billions and billions of dollars. This follows our main character Wade as he tries to accomplish finding that Easter egg. I love this book so much. It was fun. The writing was amazing. It was a quick read. However, standalone novels are sometimes hard because you don't get enough world building. I felt like that was not the issue at all with this book. And as soon as I finished it, I wanted to completely just pick it up and restart over. So that has not happened to me, I don't think, ever. So yes, I highly recommend this to everyone. It obviously got a 5 out of 5 stars. So the next book that I finished was actually a graphic novel, and that was This One Summer by Jillian and Marco Tamaki. Our main protagonist goes to Oswego Beach every year for the summer for as long as she can remember. This follows her and her best friend one summer as they are just about to hit the teenage years. They're coming through puberty, and it's kind of a coming of age, trying to realize, her sexuality, her just trying to navigate becoming a teenager and all the hormones and emotions that go into that. I, quite frankly, hated this. I did not find it entertaining. I thought the storyline was very flat, and honestly, when it was over, I still did not see the point. So I gave this a 2 out of 5 stars because I'm kind of saving my 1 star for something that I really, really hate. And I did not think this was worthy of a 1 star because the artwork was pretty cool. It's got all this like kind of purplish tint to it, which I enjoyed. But yeah, I just didn't like it. The next book that I ended up finishing was Dreams of God's Monsters by Laini Taylor. And this book, I did not enjoy this book. I have not really enjoyed the series thus far. If you don't know what the series is about, it follows this girl named Karu as she is raised by chimera. And chimera are these half human, half beast. And she has to keep them a secret as she grows up in the human world until one day her family goes missing and she goes on this journey to try and find them and save them. And I just don't like the series, I'll be honest. I've said it before, I'll say it again. The writing, gorgeous. The world, amazing. The characters, awesome. However, I cannot stand Akiva. I just don't like him. I don't know why. There's really no reason for it. And I do not like Akiva and Karu's relationship. And this series is very relationship driven. That's kind of the main basis for everything that happens. I love the side characters so much. I think that Karu's best friend is probably my favorite character in any book I've ever read. She's so sassy and spunky, and I just love Susanna. I don't like Karu and Akifu's relationship, and that really kind of kills the story for me, and it just makes it drag on and on and on. So I think I gave it a 3 out of 5 stars. I still, like I said, there's so much that redeems the book. So after dragging myself through Dreams of Gods and Monsters, I was kind of looking for something a little quicker to read, a little maybe some contemporary. Now that it's starting to get warmer, I feel like I should start reading more contemporary. So that's what I'm trying to do. And I actually think I did pretty good this month with the contemporary. The first one that I picked up was I'll Give You the Sun by Jandy Nelson. This book has had a lot of hype around it, and it did not disappoint. This follows a set of twins at 2 different points in their lives. It follows Noah at the age of 13, as him and his sister Jude are very close. He even describes them as being one soul split into 2 bodies. However, it then switches to Jude's point of view at the age of 16, and the twins do not even speak to each other anymore. And so there is something that has happened between the ages of 13 and 16 which has completely driven them apart. And this whole story is about trying to find out what that is. This book was very refreshing. I very much enjoyed it. The writing was gorgeous. The story was intriguing and captivating. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. It was very good. However, I just didn't find the emotional connection to be completely there, but I think that that was maybe just me and the mood that I was in when I was reading it. The next book that I picked up, I was actually very excited to read because it has a lot of hype around it, and that was The Red Queen by Victoria Aveyard. This book follows our main protagonist, Mare, and Mare lives in a society where you are classified by your blood type. Either you have red blood and you're a commoner, or you have silver blood and you're kind of royalty and you have magic powers. Well, Mare is a red blood, and she gets a job at the castle where she finds out that she has these supernatural abilities that she is not supposed to have because she does not have silver blood, and that completely throws everything into chaos. I really enjoyed this book. I know that it has been getting a little bit of backlash because it has a lot of the same themes that we've seen in a lot of YA novels. I do see a very strong comparison to the Hunger Games, especially in the very beginning when the Reds are forced to watch the Silvers combat to keep them into submission, and as well as the selection as they had the Queen's Trial. However, that did not sway my opinion of it at all. I still thought that the book was very fast-paced. It was very entertaining, and I cannot wait to pick up the next one. So the book was very good. It may just not have been super original, but I still gave it a 5 out of 5 stars because I really enjoyed reading it. The next book that I picked up was Forgive Me, Leonard Peacock by Matthew Quick. Now, if you did not know, Matthew Quick is actually the author of the Silver Linings Playbook, which is what originally drew me to the story. This follows our main protagonist, Leonard Peacock. And Leonard Peacock wakes up on his 18th birthday with the intent to kill his former best friend Asher and then himself. This book, although it has a very dark underlining, I still felt the book to be a very easy read. I did not find it to be super heavy. I still thought it was a little rushed. It's a very short book, so I feel like there wasn't a lot of character development in the book to where I really felt an emotional connection with Leonard. So for that reason, I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. I still thought that the book was very good and very poignant, though. The next book that I picked up was The Winter's Curse by Marie Rutowski. And this is another book that has been getting a lot of buzz, and especially with The Winter's Crime that just came out, which I'm really excited to pick up. This book follows our main character, Kestrel. And Kestrel lives in a world where you get 2 options to either join the military or get married and continue on their society. Kestrel, however, is expected to join the military as she's the general's daughter, but she doesn't want to do that, and she doesn't want to get married either. One day, Kestrel goes to a slaves auction and purchases a slave, which completely alters her course of action. This book was like a breath of fresh air, to be completely honest. It was nothing like any YA book I've ever read. The world is very, very interesting. It's very political, and there's a lot of strategy that goes into The Winter's Curse. You don't get a lot of angst, which I enjoy, and the romance is very slow burning. It doesn't have a lot of insta love that you see a lot in YA, which I found very, very refreshing. This book was just completely just lovely. I really enjoyed it. I cannot wait to get The Winter's Curse because this book was completely different, and it was really good, and I gave it 5 out of 5. Rainbow Rowell. I wish that I would have read the synopsis of this before I read it. However, I still really enjoyed the book. The book is about a girl named Georgie, and Georgie is a writer for comedy television. And her husband Neil have been having a pretty rocky marriage lately. And around Christmas time, she gets hit with a big deadline that stops her from going out of town to Neil's family's for Christmas. Neil is obviously very upset about this, and he leaves and goes to Omaha without her, which leaves Georgie wondering what the status of her marriage even is. And then while he's gone, she tries to call him on a landline, and instead of getting the present Neil, the person at the other end of the line that picks up is Neil from 20 years ago. So it has a very interesting concept. The reason I wish I would have read the synopsis is because it does take place the week of Christmas, and I would have gotten a lot more out of it had I read it during December when I was more in a Christmassy mood, and I would have got that more aspect out of it. However, reading it in April, it was just kind of meh for me. However, I did still really enjoy the story. Rainbow Rowell is a very, very good storyteller, and although it has kind of a fantastical aspect as she's talking to her husband from the past, it doesn't make it feel like a fantasy novel. It makes it feel super realistic, and it makes sense, which I really, really appreciated. So I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars. And the last book that I have is one that I just started today. However, since I'm pre-recording this, I'm assuming that I'm going to finish it before the end of the month, so I went ahead and included it into my wrap-up, and that is Falling Kingdoms by Morgan Rhodes. I do not know a whole lot about the story at this point. From what I can tell is it follows a bunch of characters from 3 different kingdoms, and basically the kingdoms are very much divided and a little bit in a power struggle on trying to take over and make it all one kingdom. It sounds very interesting. It has been compared to being the Game of Thrones for young adult literature, which I really enjoy Game of Thrones, so this is right up my alley, and I've been hearing so much good things about this. I do not think I've heard a single bad review about the Fallen Kingdom series, and I want to get this started before the next book comes out. It'll be the 4th book, so I really need to get caught up on this series pretty soon. And so since I don't know much about this now, once I finish it, I'll try and do a review on it, so if you want more information, you can check it out then. Alrighty, so that was pretty much all that I got through. That was 9 books. That's not bad at all, except for the fact that none of those books are books that I planned on reading in the beginning of the month, but that's okay. So I will talk to you guys later, and I will see you soon with my TBR. Bye!